and good and welcome, gentles. Join me again on a cold Sunday morning. And I'm sitting here doing a bit of more of the cylinders that will become me cups. But of course you realise that 9 out of 10, I really don't talk much about pottery because, well, after 30 years, there's not a whole lot more to say. Of course, you can always address us and ask us specific pottery questions. We have a lot of potters that come here, but I don't do the regular pottery. As a matter of fact, if you want to come and visit us, I want to say by January, I will be on Etsy, and you'll be able to see wares like this here, where we hand carve everything we make here. I do what they call 11th century sprigging. I know that sounds filthy, doesn't it? Oh my God, he's in there sprigging. But what it really means is reverse carving, pressing the clay in, and then hand sculpted. Oh, pretty welcome. What I'm doing here is making a wee little shot glass. You know, just for those evenings that you just want to take the edge off. Now we're stretching her out. Then I'm going to come back upward. There she goes. Nice and smooth. And then we're going to take a rib, which is one of these roundy pieces of wood. Right? That's going to act like a big round thumb, is what it's going to act like. But yes, good viewers, we've been at the fair now for 15 years, and this is my final year performing it. But fear not, fear not. From what I've been told, we're going to be hopefully joining Wicked, a festival that's nearby, and for the most part we'll be reaching you on Etsy and of course our own website. We encourage you, please send in name suggestions. I have had a number of them from, let's see here, Wayward Wolf Pottery was one, Laughing Dragon Resurrection was another, because we have had that name for many, many years. And it was suggested last Eve. I kind of like it. It was not suggested as a name, it was suggested as a description. I did a large goblet with a painting on it, and the customer was very, very pleased with it and said, my God, you produce drinkable art. I thought, drinkable art? That's kind of a nice name, it has a ring to it. So we might be doing that. For those of you coming to visit at the fair, we have 5 weekends left that you may come and visit, and please sign the Doomsday Book. The Doomsday Book is an address book, and I encourage you as well to come and follow us. Right? I've grown rather accustomed to my people that come. 85% of my sales are return people. And it's funny, I've watched their children born and grow up and marry and actually had kids in 15 years. Got a great marriage. And, well, to be honest with you, I don't want to lose you. I love performing. I do. And I have a horrible feeling that I'm going to be quite lost for the first year or so, not coming here. But you know, my wife's a good woman. She's put up with my silliness for about 15 years. Well, she's put up with my silliness for 20 this Hallows Eve, but that's the marriage aside. But 15 years, she's been a good sport about me being here. But well, there comes a time when you have to make changes in life, and I think that's what I'm pretty much doing right now. You know, I'm making changes, and stepping out into the void. She's very computer smart. She understands technologies. I myself am what I like to call a techno idiot. Yeah, I have discovered technology does not like me, which, by the way, the filming is done by our clan's photographer and his mate right now with a child on her lap, because that's what Rennies do. So if it's kind of rocking back and forth, that's actually child's work, and aren't you, you little cutie? I'm looking right now for the 11th century divorce lawyer, and I'm not seeing it. Did I hang it up? Ah, here it is, right in front of me. Yes! You ladies can lose 150 ugly useless pounds and maintain the castle. Now you take this, you put your thumbs down like this, and you're going to draw the water underneath. Mother and crow. Now we're going to slide it out. And there we have a cylinder. Right? She's not very impressive, is she? Ah, she isn't. She's just array the cylinder. But you need to understand, good gentles, this is just the first kiss and a date before marriage. There's a lot of steps between the two, isn't it? Yes, there is. It'll take 3 weeks from the time I make it to the time you drink from it, right? And while I'm throwing, I'll tell you about that. Let me set it here in the racks. There we go. Now you need to understand. When people think of pottery, the first thing they think of is what I'm doing here. You gotta throw, you gotta throw. No, you don't. Nope. The throwing, well, that's the most exciting and interesting part, but after a day, it has to harden up to leather hardness. It turns kind of like chocolate, really. And then we trim our bottoms because, well, I don't mind if it's a wide bottom, but it should be trimmed. We're talking about pottery now. Now, after it's been trimmed, we then pull our handles. Yes, that sounds bad too, now that I'm thinking about it. Yes, actually, pottery has a lot of those double entendres. I ask you to forgive me. It's a family show, not a makeup family show. And, well, after we pull the handles, I then sculpt. And that part is what I love, the sculpting part. You see, if you look at that cook there, that faceplate's just writing, but I do pictures, I do, well, just about anything I want. But I have to carve it in reverse, backwards, on wood. And when, yeah, you carved it, and then you shove the clay in it, right? And then we hand sculpt it, and each one is different. I make no piece twice. Never. Never, never, never. And then, like if it has a dragon on it, like that wee dragon, that has up to 100 handmade scales. Yep. And of course, no two dragons alike. Never. Never, never, never. So then, after we build it, it has to dry about a week and a half. About 10 days to dry, right? And then, after it dries, I bisque fire it. We call it biscuit, right? And that's to about 1,200 degrees, right? And that doesn't really vitrify or semi-melt the clay. It just drives 99.9% of the water out of the clay and it makes it hard. Not as hard as it's going to be, but about there. Kind of semi-hard. And then we hand glaze them. Right. Now, there are many ways to glaze. You can spray glaze on. You can dip glaze on. You can pour glaze on. And you can brush glaze on. Brushing is kind of a pain in the butt, so obviously that's the one I chose, of course. And what we do, sometimes it takes up to 6 layers to get the colors we want, but we hand glaze them by brush, and we hand glaze our bottoms, because not only should your bottom be trimmed, but all of Wolf's bottoms are not only trimmed but shiny. They're just a different way of doing things, I guess. And then, after it's been glazed, we bring it all the way back, and they travel about 2 hours that way. And we then fire it again to 2,300 degrees, which semi-melts the clay, which is called vitrification. And I produce stoneware. They're oven-proof, they're microwave-safe, they're dishwasher-safe, they're lead-free, they're cadmium-free, they're uranium-free. I bring up uranium because with the good queen's work, did you know when you have an orange like your shirt there, sir? That's how they got the orange in the glaze, is uranium. Yeah, you don't want to drink from that, unless you really don't like your husband. A lot. Here, honey, I bought you a lovely orange cup. It's beautiful. Have your morning tea in it every day for a month. Yeah, 30 days goes by. I'm blind. My hair's falling out. What's wrong? Nothing, honey. Have a cup of tea. You'll feel better. How's that life insurance holding up? Well, we don't do any of that. And the reason I really want to make sure all my wares are stoneware is simple. Boy, that's really crappy. That's because I'm more interested in talking to you than what I'm doing, and that's alright. And then what you do is, because you see, ladies, I'm going to give away my guy thing here. Not one of these gentlemen here, really, woke up this morning, put on those clothes and went, doesn't make my butt look fat? Does this shirt match my socks? No, we're barely civilized. It's a fact of life. Ladies, the only time we ever match our clothing is for you. That's the only reason we get up as men and go, yeah, it's clean. Sometimes we go, not so clean, but maybe if I iron it. I mean, come on, let's be honest with them, shall we? Really. I mean, if you throw a sock and it doesn't stick to the wall, it's still got another good day in it. I mean, let's face it. Well, my pottery is the same way. I can't do, like, I've been to craft fairs and I buy these lovely pots. And then they go, okay, you need to hand wash that. Use the mild salt, a little bit of a rag, you know, hand dry. I have no time for that crap. I have a life. Well, that's what my pottery is. It may look delicate, it's not, really. It's really not. And it holds a copious amount of fluid. Then after they're fired out, and you get all those good stuff, then they come here. And in the past, honestly, this is the only place you get my work. I don't do other shows. I didn't do anything online. I'm not a fisherman. I'm not a spider. I was never on the web. But as I said, life changes, doesn't it? And with all the changes, I am facing their brave new world. And I am going to be online, and I am going to be on the web, and I am going to be mailing things. God have mercy on my soul. But what I'm going to do is, inside you will find a Doomsday Book. Please, all you ones who just entered later, because I had to repeat this, please sign our Doomsday Book. It's a big brown book. You know, name, face crack, Yahoo-y, whatever. So, it has been a pleasure. The rest of you guys, if you have not been inside, let me guide you in. That didn't come out really right. Or maybe it did. Depends on how good a day you're having. Come on in. You be well.